Welcome back to the channel, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tyler. I'm an American expat, writer, photographer, traveler, and English teacher, amongst many other things. So recently, I've been seeing a lot of posts about graduation. This is a really exciting time for people. So many people are finishing up high school, they're finally going off to college and doing their own thing. They're taking their first steps into adulthood. And each time I see one of these posts, I go off on this long daydream. Sometimes I think about the nostalgia of my college days, about those tailgates, those football games, about hanging out with friends, and about those long study sessions. But I also get a sense of guilt when I think back on those days, because I feel like I really didn't take full advantage of that time as a college student. So here are 5 things I wish I'd done during my college years. So thinking back on my college days, one of the main things I wish I'd done differently is I wish I would have taken my time. I was in such a rush to get through school, to obtain that degree, and to enter the workforce and start making money. This entire idea was primarily monetarily driven. I thought that if I made my own money, I could buy whatever I want, I could live whatever lifestyle I wanted. I thought that I would feel ultimately free. Now, I'll talk about this in a different video, but that didn't turn out to be true. And because I was always looking ahead, I was always trying to get to the next stage of life, I really rushed through my college years and I didn't appreciate them as much as I wish I would have. I actually spent just 2.5 years at university. I graduated early, and while I saw this as a massive accomplishment at the time, looking back, I feel like I really did myself a disservice. I should have paced myself. I should have really involved myself in university activities, and I wish I would have taken full advantage of these 4 years, at least 4 years, to fully study something that really interests me, because the truth is, once you graduate, it's really hard to find this sort of time to dedicate to pure studies. It was because I was so headstrong, so determined to finish school early that I took the fastest, the easiest route possible, rather than taking different intro courses and trying different things and finding what was really the best fit for me. I chose to study a subject because I would be able to complete it in the fastest amount of time. And I thought that if I had this degree, then I could enter the workforce and really be happy. But as a lot of older people have probably told some of you, your college years, your years in university are some of, if not the best in your life, or they certainly can be if you fully embrace them and fully take advantage. So don't be afraid to try different things. Don't be afraid to change your major, because this is more than likely the one and only opportunity you'll get to truly dedicate yourself to studying. Now, the second thing I really wish I'd done during my college years is study abroad. I'd always been interested in travel. I'd always been interested in international culture, and I did look into studying abroad. But because the courses didn't match up perfectly, I learned that if I were to study abroad, I'd have to delay my graduation 1 semester. At the time, I thought this was a total tragedy, and I chose to forego the opportunity because of this. And it's something that I think about a lot. I try not to dwell on the past. I've traveled a lot since I finished my studies, and I think that is in large part because I'm making up for lost time. But I truly do wish I had that experience of studying abroad, of collaborating with people from a different culture, from a different country, and learning how it is to study internationally. I think it can be extremely advantageous to collaborate someone from a different background, and that's something you can count on with study abroad. Now, a lot of people think that studying abroad is really expensive, and it certainly can be. There are expensive exchange programs out there. But at my university, for example, we had exchange partnerships with several universities around the globe that allowed us to pay our normal tuition and fees to the home university and to just take courses abroad. Of course, American universities have really high, notoriously high tuition rates, but At least I wouldn't have been spending extra money to go abroad, and I really wish I'd done that. Now, the third thing I wish I'd done during my university years, my college days, is been more involved. Now, this seems a little bit vague on the outside, but what I'm really talking about here is I wish I would have been involved in more clubs, more activities, more social gatherings. A college campus, an American college campus, is in many ways like an entire town or even city, depending on the size of your university. But this is not just a city filled with regular citizens. This is a city filled with people your age, with similar interests, with similar amounts of curiosity for the world. People all getting together to learn at the same time. University campuses are really special places, and they're filled with groups of all different types. If you're into hiking, I guarantee your university has a hiking group. I was involved in the ski and snowboard club, but that was really the only type of involvement I had at school, and I really wish I'd been involved in more things. I think this sense of collective interest in the world and curiosity is something that you should really take advantage of, something I wish I'd taken advantage of during my university days. Now, the fourth thing I wish I'd done while I was in college is I wish I would have worked. Now, I went to school on an academic scholarship that pretty much covered my entire tuition. Of course, there were major living expenses that were not covered, and to cover those, I chose to take out student loans, which a lot of people do, and it's something that I wish I hadn't have done. One of the ways I could have avoided taking on this debt is by working during my time in university. Now, I justified not working by telling myself, well, in order to maintain this very valuable scholarship, I had to maintain a certain GPA. And I told myself that getting good grades was my job, that it was worth tens of thousands of dollars, the value of this scholarship. But this was a fallacy. In reality, I had so much free time during my days of studies. Now, this won't be the case for everyone, depending on what you study. For example, if you're pre-med or if you're studying engineering, you might have to dedicate a lot more time to your books, to your classwork. But with my business degree, I had tons of time, and I really feel like I wasted a lot of this time that I could have been working. I don't only wish I'd worked for the money, but also, working is such a valuable way to learn about real life, to be introduced to what it's like to be a member of the workforce. And after all, that is why the majority of you are choosing to study anyway, right? We want to study something and then apply these skills to a job, to a career, something that will eventually bring us money. Now, I don't think this is the only reason to study, but this is the main reason why most people choose to go to university. So in not working, when I entered the workforce at 21, almost 22, fresh out of college, I had no idea what to expect. And I'd already dedicated all this time, all this money into studying one thing, and I'd never actually tried working in that field to see how I felt about it, which I think was a massive oversight, and I can really only attribute it to laziness. I really wish I'd worked in school. It wouldn't have had to been a full-time job, of course. I could have worked just a few hours a week. I could have met so many people that way as well, and I could have learned a lot about myself and a lot about my interest, and really could have put the things I was studying to the test. Applying what you study is an excellent way to really learn about yourself and about whatever industry it is that you're studying. Now, the fifth thing I wish I'd done a little bit different during my college days is I wish I wouldn't have watched so much Netflix. Now, this might sound ridiculous to you, but seriously, as I talked about, I ended up having a lot of free time during my university days. And the vast majority of this time I spent watching Netflix series. I know, pretty lame. I agree. Now, the problem with this isn't just that I was wasting time, it was that I was totally immersing myself in these very in-depth, very captivating series, such as Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Friday Night Lights. Now, it's okay to watch some television. Look, I make videos. I'm a big fan of cinematography and of visual arts in general. However, to dedicate several hours to a television series every day is undeniably unhealthy, and I did a lot of this while I was in school. It was all too easy to sit on the sofa or even lay in my bed and click next episode. You know, that infamous Netflix, "Are you still watching?" When that pops up, it's probably time to step away from the screen. And I felt like I was never really present during these times of binging TV. I was living in this fantasy land, and largely because of that, I think I kind of fast forwarded through a lot of my university days. Now, everyone's different, and I want to avoid being prescriptive in these videos. Look, I have a lot to learn about life, and I'm still figuring things out every single day. But in sharing these experiences of my own, a lot of missteps along the way, I hope that you guys can take something away from these, and I hope you can apply my own shortcomings to your own lives. College is a wonderful time, so for those of you who just graduated high school, get excited. And for those of you who might already be pursuing a degree, know that it's never too late to change your mind. Even if you finish school, you can still find a way to go back and dedicate your time to studying something that truly means something to you. So with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please do subscribe for future videos coming up soon. I think I should probably get off this mountain before it starts to rain. See you soon.